Hey there, welcome back to my channel if you're returning, or welcome if you're new. Today is all about legs. We are going to be going through a quads and inner thighs routine. So without further ado, let's get started and let's get going. I'm starting out on the treadmill with 1 minute of just walking, just to wake myself up. It's really late, these workouts that I'm doing, so this kind of helps me get into the motion before I start doing all the other crazy stuff. So nothing crazy here, just at a good like brisk walking pace, and yeah, again, only for 60 seconds. So then after that, I go into walking lunges. I drop it down to about 1.5 to 1.8 depending on how quick I want to do it, but usually within that range. And I will make sure I'm focusing on mind to muscle connection here, really squeezing what I want to squeeze as I'm doing it. So as I'm doing this, I am squeezing my glutes. As I'm coming down, I'm also squeezing my quad on the other leg. So I will do this for another 60 seconds as well. Next, I am going to do some kickbacks. You might want to adjust the speed to make sure that you're able to comfortably do this. So at first it was kind of a little awkward, but now I got it. And here again, you want to focus on mind to muscle connection. These warm-ups are meant to activate the body parts that you want to use. So yes, although it's not a glute day today, my glutes are going to be supporting my exercises, so I want to make sure that they are awake as well. And it's just good practice to make sure that you have that mind to muscle connection. So now I'm going to raise the incline, and I'm going to be doing some like really quick like strut walk type of like strides for 60 seconds more on the highest incline that this thing can go. So I think it's all the way at 15. And what this will do is this will start to engage and burn all of those muscles that it's using. So my quads were feeling it, my glutes were feeling it, my calves were feeling it. Everywhere feels it. And it depends on how you squeeze the muscles too. So now that that's over, I'm going to lower it and give myself 30 seconds to slow down and kind of like let the burn subside, and then I'll go right into sprints. So I'm gonna do 30 seconds on and then 30 seconds off. So this is at the like 6.3 speed, but because I'm on a treadmill, I'm still getting used to it. Like, again, I used to do sprints on the treadmill like way back in college, but it was pretty awkward. But yeah, just going at a speed that's comfortable for you, but it needs to get your heart going. So as I'm doing this, I lifted myself up, but I'm like, the thing's still going, right? The treadmill's still going, and hopping back on is pretty like awkward too. So like I don't lower it all the way, but I lower it enough for me to like get on there, and I give myself 10 seconds to up the speed, and then I give myself another 30 seconds. So just keep all of that in mind as you are using the timing system on the treadmill or as you're pacing yourself. So this is a quick enough speed for me to try to get me tired and make me feel the effects of sprints. if I'm on the ground, I will definitely make sure that like I raise my knees more and I give myself more burst of energy backing these runs. That's what really helps with muscle growth, that burst of using muscle repeatedly. When it comes to cardio and muscle gain, you don't want to destroy your muscles or have them shrink by using steady type of like cardio. You want to make sure that you're doing like quick bursts, and it'll cause shock to the muscles, which then will promote muscle growth. So now I'm just winding down. I take about 30 seconds to a minute to cool down depending on how intense I went. I think in this case I took a good 30 seconds. Just walking that out, yes. So now we're starting with quads on the leg extension. And let me say, I don't like this like 30-minute zone leg extension. It feels so awkward. It feels like it's gonna fall apart. But what I'm doing now, I have this at, I think, it said 60, but I couldn't tell like exactly how to read the weights, because I don't know if it was like one side was pounds, the other side was like kilograms. But nevertheless, I put this at 60, and what I'm doing is I'm focusing on quickly extending my leg out and then slowly bringing it back down. And that muscle control is what will help make the workout intense. So next is walking lunges, and these are lovely for the sense that it helps with those stabilizing muscles, and on top of that, it helps with the muscle that you are trying to work at. So I am using two 20-pound dumbbells, and I would use 25 or 30, but my arms are starting to adjust and get back into these workouts. So I'm starting at 20 just for safety, and making sure I'm focusing on mind to muscle connection to make sure that the burn is as much as it can be. So immediately after the lunges, I am doing some pulse squats with the resistance band. So everything you saw here in this like little section were all done back to back, no break. That's what we call a superset, and that's where the growth will happen, because you're challenging your muscles by doing all of this stuff at the same time. So I did 3 sets of that circuit. So this circuit right here, I'm starting with the leg press, and I think I had it at like 110 pounds. And again, I'm focusing on control with 1 second out and then a slower return. So again, doing it this way will help with challenging your muscles, and that will help promote proper breakdown of it, and in turn will have some great results. So immediately after, we're going into the lateral lunges, and I have a 20-pound dumbbell in my hand as I'm doing it. So I'm really focusing on keeping my back neutral and not like flopping my upper body everywhere, because then that will change what the workout is doing for my legs. And as I'm pushing, I'm making sure I'm driving with my heel as well. And this circuit I did 4 times. So these 3 exercises, I did it 4 times over. So next, I'm going to the hip abduction machine. This is a quick spot exercise that I'm doing. I have the resistance band on, a light one. I don't have a heavy one on. My lightest resistance band, and I have the weight at maybe like 100 pounds, something like that. And I'm focusing on slowly returning my legs together while keeping my knees outwards. Sometimes the temptation to buckle your knees will be there. It's so important that when you do this, you keep your knees pushed outwards, and that's where it's going to work the best. So immediately when I do 10 of those, I'm going to up the weight, take off the resistance band, and then I'm going to do 5 regular ones. And I did this 3 times over, going back and forth with the resistance band and then the regular using my body. So this wasn't a glute day routine. So this is actually just outside of the other routine. But I wanted to add this in because as I am noticing what's healed and what can be broken down a little bit more, I like to do like spot exercises to, keep the muscles broken down so that they can heal. And when they're healed, I'll do it over again. So this is very specific to my body right now. This isn't necessarily a part of the routine, but rather like I noticed that my glutes can take it for this particular night. So why not add it in? So I'm finishing with some static stretches. Since I did not do dynamic stretches earlier, I want to make sure that my range of motion is still intact. So I'm just holding this lunge, and I hold all of my stretches for at least 20 seconds. That's where it's effective. And oh man, you can see how tight I am, how I'm rounding my back out. What you're trying to do is get your chest to go to your knee, but my knee is not going anywhere near my chest anytime soon. I've lost a lot of mobility by not stretching, so that's so important to stretch. So important. So I'm doing the other side. And then I'm going to also do the extended leg thing. Yeah, that. Chest to knee for another 20 seconds. Making sure I hold that. And relax into it too. It's important to breathe into it too. Then I'm going to do the side lunge like stretch to get the inner thigh as well. I'm pushing on that bent knee with my elbow right there, and I'm sitting into it to feel the pull on my inner thigh. And then I'm going to get my inner thighs at the same time by leaning into this stretch here, on my toes, leaning in with my knees bent. And then some I don't know what to call this, but I guess open gates is what I've heard it called before. So some of these will help open the hip up. And then what I do, I sit into a really deep squat, and I make sure I push into my heels, and this gets my inner thighs really well. So usually I do this in the beginning, but it's fine doing it at the end. You can even see my legs shaking a little bit. I'm not sure if you can tell, but like my legs are fatigued. If you found this video helpful, definitely give me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you are rocking with what I'm doing. And until next time, see ya. Bye.